That satisfying click when a battery locks into your drill? That's the sound of a trap snapping shut. Your cordless tool isn't a tool, it's a subscription service disguised as hardware. And every 18 months, the bill comes due. Today, I'm exposing 5 ways the power tool industry has engineered your wallet open, the exact dollar amounts, the chemistry they're exploiting, and the specific tools you should buy instead, with model numbers. This isn't speculation. This is the business model they built while you weren't looking. Let's tear it apart. Here's what convenience actually costs. Last spring, I bought a cordless drill kit, $229, shiny yellow case. Felt like a smart purchase. 18 months later, the battery gasped its last breath. You know that desperate whine when a motor slows under load? That dying wheeze that drops 2 octaves before cutting out entirely? I heard it mid-project. Sawdust hanging thick in the air. The smell of fresh-cut oak. Screw halfway driven. Head barely flush. Then silence. The drill motor? Fine. The chuck? Perfect. The gearbox? I could feel the mechanics wanting to work. Smooth rotation, solid engagement. But the battery was dead, a corpse with a charge indicator. Replacement? $149. 65% of what I paid for everything. Picture yourself in that moment. Your tool becomes a plastic paperweight. You're standing in your garage, holding $200 of useless machinery. Somewhere in a corporate office, an accountant is smiling at a spreadsheet. Meanwhile, a corded drill doesn't care about chemistry. The DeWalt DWD210G runs $79. And here's why it'll outlast your mortgage. The motor housing is die-cast aluminum, not injection-molded plastic. Heat dissipates through metal instead of building until something melts. The brushes are replaceable carbon blocks. $10 and 15 minutes when they eventually wear, maybe once a decade with home use. The gearbox runs in a sealed oil bath that never dries out, never degrades, never sends you back to the store with that sinking feeling in your stomach. A $25 extension cord solves problems that $200 in batteries only postpones. The math isn't complicated, it's just inconvenient for their business model. But the battery dying isn't bad luck. It's bad by design. Every single charge cycle damages the battery. Permanently. Irreversibly. Inside that black plastic shell, lithium ions shuttle between electrodes when you charge and discharge. Each trip physically degrades the electrode material. Under an electron microscope, it looks like violence. Microscopic cracks spidering through crystalline structures, fissures spreading deeper with every cycle, the lattice slowly shattering into fragments too small to see but impossible to reverse. Even under laboratory-perfect conditions, temperatures between 50 and 77 degrees, careful storage at partial charge, a lithium-ion battery loses 20% capacity in 2 to 3 years, 300 to 500 cycles. Then you hit the cliff. Performance doesn't decline. It collapses. Now picture real life. Your tool bag sits in a truck bed. Texas summer. The sun beats down on black plastic. Surface temperature hits 140 degrees. Inside that battery, electrolyte is breaking down into gases that swell the cells, bulging them against their housing until the seams strain. Your battery is cooking itself to death while you're grabbing lunch, the chemical equivalent of a slow-motion meltdown. Or flip the calendar. Minnesota winter. You grab your drill from the frozen garage at 6 in the morning. Your breath fogs in the beam of your headlamp. The cells are sluggish, the lithium barely moving through thickened electrolyte. Force a cold battery to deliver full current, and you accelerate the damage, like running an engine with frozen oil. Here's what the box doesn't tell you. The death clock starts at the factory. That new battery sitting on a warehouse shelf for 8 months, already degraded, already dying. And somewhere in a lab, an engineer charted exactly how many cycles you'd get before walking back into the store. They didn't discover the degradation curve. They optimized around it. If you must go cordless, check manufacture dates. Store batteries indoors at room temperature, between 30 and 80% charge. Never leave them cooking on chargers overnight. You buy yourself maybe 1 extra year. Maybe. But here's the part that should make you angry. Degradation isn't the trap. It's just the bait. The real trap is the prison they built around it, and you're about to see the bars. DeWalt has 20 volts max. Milwaukee has M18. Makita has LXT. Ryobi has ONE+. Sounds helpful, right? One battery fits your drill, your saw, your impact driver. Beautiful synergy. Here's the truth. These platforms are prisons, and you're building your own cell, one tool at a time. A DeWalt battery won't touch a Milwaukee tool. Makita won't speak to Ryobi, not because they can't, because they won't. There's no technical barrier. USB-C works across thousands of devices from hundreds of companies, but power tool manufacturers looked at that model and said, absolutely not. Keep them locked in. Lock-in complete. Once you own 3 tools on one platform, you've sunk $300 in batteries. 4 tools? $400. Switching brands means watching that investment evaporate, like waking up to find your stock portfolio has been zeroed out overnight. So you stay, even when quality drops, even when prices rise, even when reviews say the new models feel cheaper, lighter, flimsier in your hand. No escape. The walls of your prison are made of sunk costs and switching pain. They built them one battery at a time, while you thought you were building a tool collection. The escape route is track records. Milwaukee's M18 launched in 2008. 16 years of backward compatibility. That's not a marketing promise. That's proven history. Makita's LXT dates to 2005, nearly 2 decades of support. Choose these platforms, not because corporations are trustworthy, but because abandoning them would cost too much goodwill. Avoid anything newer than 5 years. Let other people be the beta testers. Let them absorb the risk, because abandonment isn't a possibility. It's a business strategy with a timeline, and the executives planning your platform's death already know the date. They just haven't told you yet. DeWalt once had an 18-volt nickel-cadmium platform. Millions bought in, built collections, filled garages with matching yellow tools. Then DeWalt killed it, quietly, deliberately. They launched 20 volts max lithium, marketing everywhere. The old batteries vanished from shelves within 2 years. Chargers discontinued. I've seen those abandoned tools at estate sales. Picked one up last month, actually. Spun the chuck by hand, smooth as silk. Pulled the trigger and felt the motor magnets engage with authority. Gearbox tight, mechanically flawless. But the battery bay gaped empty like a missing tooth. No cells exist to feed it. A perfectly good tool, executed by corporate strategy. Mechanical perfection, financial casualty. Black & Decker did it. Porter Cable did it. Craftsman under Stanley did it. Every major manufacturer has orphaned a platform. That's not pessimism. That's pattern recognition. Milwaukee is already pushing MX Fuel for heavy-duty applications, different batteries. Completely incompatible with M18. Ryobi periodically refreshes with new cell configurations. Every upgrade announcement starts a countdown timer on everything you already own. Imagine this. It's 2029. Your M18 platform runs 5 tools deep, $400 in batteries. Milwaukee announces M21, new architecture, higher voltage, incompatible cells. Your entire shop becomes a museum overnight. Gone. Just like that. The fix isn't hoping they'll be different this time. The fix is assuming they won't. Buy corded for anything that doesn't absolutely require portability. For cordless necessities, stick to M18 or LXT, the platforms with the longest survival records. Avoid budget platforms like Harbor Freight's Hercules or Bauer. Shallow ecosystems, disposable tools, zero long-term commitment. Now let's follow the money and expose the whole game. Walk into Home Depot. See that bare drill for $79? Looks reasonable. Now find the battery. $99 for a basic 2.0 amp hour. $179 for a 5.0 that actually lasts through a project. The consumable component, the part designed to die, costs more than the machine it powers. The math is brutal. You need 2 batteries minimum. One dies while you're working. The other charges. That's the workflow they designed. That's the dependency they engineered. Total real cost, nearly $300 for a drill with a 3-year lifespan built into its power source. Let's follow the money over a decade. You buy a kit for $250, 2 batteries included. Feels complete. 3 years later, both batteries are gasping. 20 minutes of runtime instead of 40. Sudden shutoffs under load. That sinking frustration every time you pick up the tool. Replacement, $240 for a 2-pack. 3 more years. Same story. Another $240. 10-year total, $730. For a drill, in 1978, a man named Robert Chen bought a Craftsman corded drill from Sears, $34. He used that drill to build 2 decks, finish a basement, hang countless shelves, wire his own garage. When Robert passed in 2019, his son inherited that drill, 41 years old. Motor brushes slightly worn. One spot on the cord wrapped in electrical tape from a mishap in 1993. But it worked. It drilled holes the day Robert died, just like it did when Jimmy Carter was president. That drill answered to physics. Yours answers to quarterly earnings reports. Physics wins. The cord is the fix. The Makita 5007F circular saw shows up at estate sales for $30, and here's why it refuses to die. The shoe plate is cast magnesium, lightweight but rigid, not stamped aluminum that warps under heat stress. The motor windings are varnish-sealed copper, wound tight against sawdust infiltration. The blade guard pivots on machined steel pins, not plastic bushings that wear into wobbling slop after a few hundred cuts. The Bosch 1191V SRK hammer drill runs a dual-mode gearbox with hardened steel planetary gears, the same architecture you'd find in industrial equipment that runs 3 shifts a day. The auxiliary handle mounts to a forged steel collar, not plastic threads that strip after 3 jobs and leave you white-knuckling a jumping drill. These tools were built when planned obsolescence was an insult, not a business strategy. Your tools were redesigned, not to serve you better, to extract from you longer. Every proprietary battery is recurring revenue. Every discontinued platform is a forced upgrade. Every degraded cell is a customer walking back through those automatic doors. Credit card ready. Stop buying the platform. Stop buying the ecosystem. Stop buying the illusion of convenience that costs $300 every 3 years. Buy the cord. Buy the used professional tool that already proved it can last. Build your shop around tools that answer to physics, not to Wall Street.